Alright, so in this one, I feel the necessity to make a rant. Matter of fact, I did a rant before this festival began, and, well, it was about auto gauges and how they are just terrible for the game and terrible for everything, and, well, at least something came from that, right? Clearly, Vegito being as good as he is, and we'll touch on Vegito in this, but what Vegito does against auto gauges is fantastic. I think a lot of people like that. Yet, as well, there is a flaw within Vegito, which, again, we will touch on. We'll say, if you are celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy that there. Enjoy this rant on Thanksgiving before all your little company comes over, if you're watching it when it first drops, because of, well, before you even having that Thanksgiving dinner. If not, happy Thursday, I guess, as well. Rant's beginning. Why, Legends? Legitimately, I'm looking at the future tag here, and I'm just looking, I'm thinking, why? Why have you failed so drastically? What have you truly actually managed to accomplish with what you've done? Look at the range future tag, which they are obviously trying to create. And what if, like, what are you doing? Why is Goku Black? For one, there's gonna be a lot going on here about Goku Black, obviously. But for one, why is Goku Black more strike based on stats than blast based? Does that make any sense? No. As well as, I don't think Goku Black deserves all the extra negativity he's getting, right? Because we've had characters. We've had God Goku. We've had just others, you know, Buu Duo. Just characters in the past that have been underwhelming. And Goku Frieza, like, there's been characters. If the same energy was matched with, you know, people making, you know, the, plat equip concepts or, like, tangents on Goku Black existed for other characters, I'd be thinking that bits would be more valid. But VT was worse than Goku Black initial drop. God Goku, in my opinion, was worse than Goku Black initial drop. Goku Frieza was worse than Goku Black, because all these characters, like God Goku, and actually God Goku was like off top 10 lists. VT was off top 10 lists, I believe, if not barely making it. And Goku Frieza was like 9-10, right? Those are all celebration characters. One's part 2, one's part 1, and one's part 2. And those didn't really get, you know, traction of people. I guess God Goku got some traction, but only one of those got buffed at the end of the day, right? VT got a plat a lot later. They didn't get anything. They just got screwed over and got a lot of buffs for their team, but they weren't good enough. But yet, it's the culmination of everything. I don't care that Goku Black's a little bit underwhelming. We've had that. I'm fine with the conceptualization that, yeah, they kind of did something, they tried their best, and they failed. Legends fails a lot. Legends does everything terribly at this point of the fucking existence of them. Because you look at it, Buu Duo, new mechanic, failure. Goku Black, new mechanic. What would you expect? Legitimately, I know it's a terrible thing to do, to physically expect failure, but the track record of Legends is that of that. Being failures, 90% of the time a new mechanic is introduced. I'm stunned. I'm actually kind of confused by the premise that Vegito's new mechanic, because it is a new mechanic to just ignore gauges as he does, is actually good. It's not even just good, it's fantastic. It's actually healthy. But then they make him overtuned. I actually have kind of a bone to pick with this character. I don't like him. I mean, he's good, he's great, he's arguable number 1 in my opinion, but I don't like him. He's a bit too... And this stems from a different issue that already exists in the game of Majin Vegeta. He's a bit too overwhelming. The issue that stems with Majin Vegeta is he is very overwhelming. This character is a bit overwhelming, right? Overtuned even. Majin Vegeta is very overtuned. So he has to be overtuned, this character. But the flaw that I strike myself thinking of this character, and it's not a flaw in his own kit, it's actually a plus to him, I don't like infinite combos, and I know Legends has to find this middle ground somehow, and they have failed miserably for the last months to find a middle ground, but they failed. We have this character now that will most likely introduce a concept that we have going forward of every other LF moving forward within the next, like, year span or 6 months is going to have this similar mechanic to Vegito. Maybe a little worse, maybe a little better, but it's going to be a similar vibe to Vegito. So we're going to go back to this infinite combo meta. Because Vegito, you play against this character. You know, you're like, oh, sit back, take a break, because you were getting infinite combo. Whether you have your infinite gauge or not, you're getting infinite combo. Now, I've heard a bit of distortion of the truth here from people, which is wild to me. People were calling this guy's counter healthy, or his kit, just general kit, healthy. No, G4 was not healthy at all. Now, the premise behind him and his actual gauge specific is more healthy than unhealthy, right? Yes, you're stopping combos, but, well, what's the alternative? The alternative is Vegito doing infinite combos. So it's like, they don't know what they're doing. I think just the whole entire premise of auto gauges has messed up everything. If we're getting anti of antes, essentially, because now we have a situation where we used to have infinite combos. Now we have a situation where that infinite combos are done because auto gauges. And then we have a situation of, well, the ante of the ante. We are literally just stacking ante mechanics. It's not like we're getting new stuff. We're just stacking antes what we've had in the previous years. It seems kind of bland. It seems kind of boring. And this campaign, the festival, whatever, it doesn't even feel like a festival, I'll be honest. Like, I'd rather have the movies campaign than this festival. It's been such an underwhelming thing in every aspect. Because, again, I don't think it was warranted for the Goku Black thing specific to, like, go crazy over. Yes, again, we'll have underwhelming characters. Goku Black is underwhelming. Solid, got it, understood, right? But then they drop this bozo. Yo. His peak damage, which some of it, I think it's like 40%, can be canceled, is 210%. Now, again, so 4% of it can be canceled, then you do a big move, you do your ultimate, boom, 4% canceled. So 170%, because he has to rebuild up his swap and stuffs. 210%. So let's go to an LF Zenkai that actually, well, had impact and actually was good, because there was actually a few of them this year. Well, one from 6 months ago, 5 months ago, whatever. Kid Buu. So you look here, he gets your damage, 125%, nothing crazy, okay. Every 4 counts, he gets some more damage, and he's debuffing, fantastic. He's getting some blast damage there, but he doesn't have a high peak. Kid Buu does not have a high peak at all. But Kid Buu is rated 3, 4, these high tiers, because Kid Buu actually has, for one, this gives him a lot of damage, and he gets a lot of green cards, and as well as, which is very common sense to introduce, which I don't know how Legends cannot do this conceptually, right here. Follow his curve every time the character is hit with enemy's arts fire while on the battlefield. He shortened ally sub count 10 times, then reduces key and minus their cardinal speed. That is called defense utility, as well as his defense utility right there. He does have endurance. So you give him endurance, he's going to lower ally sub count so they can come in and take the big moves, and he's hurting combo potential, as well as debuffing and doing good damage, and healing has sustainability. Do you see how he has every aspect? He has survivability in his own merit. He has good damage because he just goes. He only has 3 counts cover null. He has less cover null than Trunks, remind you. He only has neutral for 3 counts when he sidesteps, mind you as well. He has no cut pen on his ultimate. Do you see how he has flaws? And that's okay, because they filled out other parts of his kit with survivability, with good damage, with good staying power, sustainability, with multiple vanishes, with defense utility of lowering ally sub count, minus card draw speed, having good equips for health. Do you see how they actually did it? Kid Buu could have not had his plat, and he still would have been better than LF Trunks is currently. Kid Buu's plat is not even that good. It's what, 30% pure? It's 30% offense. Okay, pop a green card, you got it. Like, literally, that's all you do. He already has high health. He already had good health. He already had good stuff. And then they do this. They do this with Trunks. Like, you're serious, right? Again, Kid Buu and CMZ have less neutral and less cover null than Trunks. Both of them. CMZ is even less of a, I guess you could say, all-around than Kid Buu, right? CMZ was rated, I believe, lower in the majority of it. But CMZ was still hitting hard. He was a brute. He was healing off because his plat, which that was actually a more valid thing. He kind of needed his plat to be as good as he was on his Zenkai. But the premise still stands. Why even Zenkai Trunks? Legitimately, he doesn't even help Vegito. He buffs Hybrid Saiyan. For one, he wouldn't even help Vegito in general. Vegito's blast-based. This is a strike, attack, and defense ability. So him Zenkai buffing Green Future wouldn't even have done anything. And as well as, he doesn't help anything. Dude, tell me what this is supposed to do. Tell me. Tell me who? Ultra Gohan? There's so much better auto gauge characters. Ultra Gohan. No one's gonna use Ultra Gohan. No one's using him. Like, it just doesn't make sense, bro. They just dropped the ball. And again, it's not even because he doesn't have plat. Sure, I'm sure there is parts of his kit that will get fulfilled out via a plat. Awesome, great. It really is just damage inflicted, to be honest with you here, and some defense utility, which a plat will not give that much defense utility. I promise you, it will not be enough. But why? He literally had everything is going for him. His entire physical like reading of kit, you can see is going for him. You're just like, oh, that damage inflicted's a bit low, and it's not defense utility, but you know, surely they'll be good enough. No, because he has zero perspective of defense utility. They give him nothing, and it just doesn't make sense. And on top of this, it hurts my brain because there's such better options. He has 3 ults. Right now, the meta consists of VB, Rose, MV, Evilboo's common enough, Ulton's common enough, etc., whatever else. There's at least 5 characters right there. They cancel buff effects and hatch speed upgrades on ults. So when you give a character 3 ults, who is obviously meant to do said 3 ults, they can't do their ults, Legends. They can't. This Trunks hits like paper. His strike cards will do more than his ult because everyone cancels buff effects. So why? I don't disagree that you need a Zenkai. I don't disagree with that at all. I'm actually on board with that premise. Sure, great. But you do it in such a regard that's just nasty. It's like he was good for like a week or 2 or 3. Initial drop, and then power creep central hit, right? Obviously. And then they just do it again, and they even do it worse. People are comparing him to LFDBS Broly Zenkai. DBS Broly doesn't even have cover null until main ability. That's how bad this guy is. That's how terrible he is. He's getting compared to a character that doesn't have cover null on entry. It's so... People are saying, unironically, and I don't agree, but it's hilarious that people are even speaking this. People are saying the free-to-play Trunks is better. What have we done? Legitimately, what have we done? It's just Moranacy. And then, it's not even just it. There's actually more. Again, I'll touch on Goku Black, sure. But can we just talk about... I don't think people talk about these banners enough. They really don't. What is this? Evo Ken, Chibi, Trunks, Sword of Hope, VT, G4, LFVB, and Super Saiyan Blue G. Are you kidding me? Like, yes, Vegito's better. Yes, his banner's worse. I understand how money works. The worst banner for the better unit, and the better banner for the worst unit. 1, 2, equals 3, right? Got it. I love math. Great stuff. 1 + 2 is 3. But, dog, the discrepancy between the banners is... it's unimaginable. You give CMZ, who's pretty competent. You give Super 17, Vegito, Omega. There's not one competent character on VB's banner that is an LF that is not VB. And then Goku Black's banner, you're going to say Omega Shenron's better than Goku Black. What? Why is the pool so... Why couldn't Omega be on VB's banner? They're fusions. Why couldn't Super 17 be on VB's banner? They're fusions. Why Vegeta? They're both Saiyans. CMZ? They're both fusions. You couldn't disperse the banner any conceptualization of better. You just make it this. Like, I hate summoning for VB, not because, it's hard to pull VB copies. That's a part of it, obviously. But it's because the banner's so putrid. I would summon on Goku Black's banner for the other characters. How are we still doing this in 2024 where you make LF banners bad? Ultra banners, make them bad. Look at this. Look at this treacherous area of display that we're in right here. Yeah, I get it. This banner is complete shit. But at least you have, like, a once upon a time god that existed. I understand it. Stick that to Ultras. VB's banner is like 2020 fucking value. Like, there's nothing. There's nobody. There is not a premise of a character that is actually competent. That's an LF besides BV. I don't care if you like fusing Gogeta Blue. He's shit. Evo Ken, shit. VT, shit. Trunks, shit. Sword of Hope, shit. G4, shit. VB, shit. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is shit. How do we do this? You couldn't even bring God Goku back? People don't even like God Goku. You couldn't even bring him back? God Key, the tag you're seemingly trying to help a little bit because you keep doing it from time to time, but you still fail it because you keep failing Legends. People don't talk about the banners enough, that's all I'm going to say. And then the main problem that everyone loves to mention, and I have to mention at this point, because again, I see his flaws, I understand his problem. As a matter of fact, I think I'm one of the few people that actually rate him in top 10, because everyone just, he's kind of bandwagon hating him, but everyone's hating him, right? Goku Black, I've already mentioned a billion times his flaws, where he has no blast armor and base, despite the fact that ranged units have blast armor, right? Triku, Omega. I mean, Turles' defense type, he has blast armor, so why does he have blast armor and Goku Black doesn't? See, makes no sense, right? As well as, it's just, I don't even know what, the design is just, it's effortless, because how failure it is. I mean, there's a lot of things that are actually good on paper in his kit, if they just fleshed out, but nothing, and I mean, actual zero. Again, you've heard this, I don't need to reiterate every point that everyone's already made. There's just nothing fleshed out. It's just everything together is such a joke. This feels like a genuine campaign of like the Boo Duo campaign. They were terrible. They looked good on paper. They looked great on paper. Goku Black looked great on paper. I said he should be at least top 5 on paper, which wasn't fantastic, but you know, it's all right. It's all right. You don't have to be top 1 every fucking release. That's fine. You don't have to. You should be top tier for your Legends Fest character, but it's okay. You don't have, you know, you can drop the bag a little bit. You know, have some money spill out of it. But dude, oh my god, like, everything together is just a joke. You got this free character being argued better than the Zenkai LF. You got this Goku Black, who there's no reason to ever even own him. Triku and MV, you can't describe one reason you would run Goku Black over Triku or MV. Obviously, MV, there's really zero reason. Triku, there'd be more of an argument. But still, there is no argument realistically, and it just makes no sense. And we're still in the area where there's been no shift. People want meta shifts. It's boring. It's boring to deal with MV gauge, Ultra Gohan gauge, all these automatic shits. It is boring. Nobody enjoys it. At least, maybe initially, you'll have a little fun, your little dopamine kicked in because you got your character you like. Woo! We got a new Vegito. That's great. Fantastic. But then you make a mechanic of him, and every mechanic in him, so toxic to where you can't even power creep it. You physically can't power creep Majin Vegeta. You can't power creep Lock-In. We've known this. This is a thing that's been existing. This heater is going fucking bananas, which I love. You can't power creep him. You hear this? You're deaf? Good. Me too. I wish I was deaf at this point. You can't power creep Majin Vegeta. Because lock-ins don't get power crept. It's like saying Fat Boo is going to get power crept. Yeah, eventually. Years later. But it wasn't soon. It wasn't fast. It wasn't easy. It just had to happen years later. For God's sake, we just barely now are receiving characters that are punishing lock-in attacks. Or lock-in sequences that exist in PvP. Just now. Fat Boo was year 1. And we weren't getting that until, where are we? 6th? About to be 7th year in 6 months? Like, yo. I expected more. You should expect more. It's the second biggest celebration of the year. And part 1 is just pathetic. I'm not going to compare this to 6th Annie part 1. I'm not. Because that, you know, is too well off. They actually made stuff change. Things were actually changing, you know. It was Ultra Gohan UI, and then GB Assault Chain was very good in part 1. Then part 2 started buffing Majin Buu Saga. Majin Buu Saga was great, fantastic. And then we went from there on. And things actually evolutionized. I didn't say they evolutionized well, but at least they changed. What do you... Envy's already won, then you drop a green character? Not even just the green, then you drop a green LF Zenkai? Why didn't this happen? I don't like this character. I don't like him at all. But you can't be this ignorant, Legends, to be like, oh yeah, this couldn't be the one. Or, for the sake of everybody's mental sanity, why couldn't you do anything to this character? It was so... It still is. It's so free to do anything you want with this character or Puddle. And just make them gods. They're so easy. Trunks didn't even look hard to make good, and yet you failed. But these two are even easier than Trunks. Puddle literally just has to get modern, and he's better, and top tier. And then this character, I mean, realistically, just modernize them as well. There's not much you even have to change within individual kits of those two. And then they do Z Trunks to buff to run with Goku Black? Was that really the premise? Who's the third? CMZ, Goku Black, and Trunks? That's the team, guys? That's what you want me to run? You're joking. You want to strike future with CMZ, who is 5 months old Zenkai, that's better than Trunks, with the underwhelming character of Goku Black. Then you want to range future with my Vegito, and who's the third? There is no third. Oh, right, because you fail at every singular buff you ever do, Legends. It's just pathetic. It really is. Well, you fail at future buffs, it seems, already, because I don't know what else. You haven't really failed with Majin Buu Saga, obviously. But it's just pathetic. This was a terrible Zenkai choice. This shouldn't have happened. Why? We haven't had a Zenkai LF without a plat since 8 Vegeta almost a year ago. And then we just go back to that when every other LF Zenkai has been with a plat? Why? Why? Did you learn nothing? Hey guys, remember when VB was like really good on Zenkai? He was. And then he got a plat, then it did actual 0. Hey guys, remember when Purple UI got Zenkai? He actually was really good because he was on a glaze setup. Then he got a plat and it did 0. Hey guys, could you assume what's going to happen to this character when he's already trash and he's going to get a plat? He's going to be absolute 0? It's ineptitude. It's physical stupidity that's embodied into the development of this game. It's pathetic. It's actually sad to watch how dumb they are with their decisions. There's not been one good decision this entire festival. Vegito is the best one, and even then, this character, people will start hating. I know people already start hating this character because nobody wants to play in a game where it's either automatic, because brain damage, or it's automatic infinite, because even more brain damage. People are just happy about Vegito because you actually have to click cards to use them. The state of this is insurmountable to how... It's just like their whole foundation is just screwy. Like, there's no good foundation built. It's literally just either we're going to have auto mechanics carrying everybody, or we're going to have auto anti-auto that just infinites. How is it so... It can't be. It cannot be 6 years deep, 6.5 years deep, and we're still struggling to find a balance between auto stuff and non-auto stuff. There should never have been, and I always say this, Purple UI should never have existed the way he did. There should not have ever been a character that can automatically avoid attacks. That premise, ever existing in any game, sounds terrible. And yet they've only doubled and tripled and quadrupled and 5x, 6x, 10x down from there. Look what MUI does. Look what UI does. Look what MV does. And all we've done since those characters is shift to infinite combo or shift back into the auto. All we've done since Purple UI is shift back and forth between the two. Never finding like clairvoyance between the two and just goodness, just shifting between the two. If it's not Purple UI, it's MUI. If it's not MUI, it's UGB. If it's not UGB, it's UG4. It's not UG4, it's Ultra Gohan. It's not Ultra Gohan, it's Ultra MV. And then we move back. SV infinite comboed, right? Pre-SV, they infinite combo a long time. UG4, infinite comboed while having the auto mechanic. We just keep shifting the goalpost there of stupidity. It's a goalpost of stupidity because there's no actual goodness behind it. It's just wasting everyone's real, efforts they've put into actually making some balance. Then they just go back to this auto shit. That's all they do. They just keep reiterating the same point they've done for years. And it's just dumb. Everything they've done in part 1 is dumb. They could have done so much more to make this tramp stamp Majin fall down to the grave. They've done actual 0. Nothing at all. The one character that's good against them, Mai, who is ranged, for 1. Mai, who is a 1% for 2. Mai, who gains endurance on entry when on future or whatever other tags, where Vegeta can cancel because if you don't land your sneak rush at the perfect timing, you ain't killing that Majin with Mai. And it's a 1%. You hard counter G4 like he was the epitome of Satan. But the Majin, you don't care? You literally just buffed him twice. A shitty Zenkai and a godly LF. But UG4 got fucked day 2 after release? I don't like UG4. I don't like his premise at all. But why can't we be at least equal? And like, not bias? I mean, really? Is that not a thing that could exist? Part 1's terrible. The only thing is, this is the greatest part about it all. We're not even close to done with Part 1. Part 1 is still going, and I can't see any way they reconcile this. Because you look, Part 1 should end on the 10th. Yeah, the 10th. Yeah, another week of this, and then whatever else comes out, we'll see. They could do another LF Zenkai. Maybe they will do something that's good enough. But there is, factually, for me, there's zero they can do. Because the shitty banners of God Unit, shit banner, we've done this too long. It's played out. You've done enough of this stupidity. It's played out. They've done this. Shit banner, great unit, bad banner, or rather good banner, worse unit. It's just dumb to do. It's just, no incentive comes from it. People are going to summon on the best value. I see so many Goku Blacks running around because the banner is better, not because they actually like the character. Do you see how many Omega Shenrons I find? That's because Goku Black's banner. If you made Vegito's banner better, you would have made more money! Fucking Nimrods, bro. Part 1's a failure. This reminds me of 4th Annie Part 1, to be honest. It was just auto shit of MUI, and it was just cancer fucking dumbassery. But this is a failure in the opposite end. Nothing has made enough impact to just do anything. You'll run into, VB pretty often, sure. They'll run into Goku Black somewhat. But nothing has changed. It's still the top tier teams that are top tier teams. Maybe there's another team that's up there. But nothing has been impacted to such a degree that, like, this guy fell or that guy fell crazy. People that were already falling off fell off harder. Units that were already going up went up harder. Whoa, amazing. Look, Turles went down 2 places because a green came out. Like, bro. Like, that's it. That's the best impact that's had so far. Like, that's it. Hopefully, I know I'm trying to be optimistic at this point after ranting for 25 minutes. Hopefully, Part 2, Part 3, whatever else is just not, honestly, just as boring. This shit's ass. It's boring because what they've done, which is nothing. These units actually did something. This won't be boring. This one exists right here. Nothing. Here would exist the last 28 minutes. But everything is just trash. It's just all trash. If VB being great, cool, great. It's just another problem to the problem we've already had in the past. So who cares? Realistically, who cares? People don't enjoy VB already. It's been a week. People already dislike VB. Like, who cares? This Part 1's a joke. It's actually a joke. They've made this miserable. They've done that completely. They've done that perfectly. That was their intention. Make Part 1 miserable and make nobody like it. Good job. You did it. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back for that one. You did that perfect. Let me know what you guys think of what you think of Part 1 of Legends Fest 2024. I'll see you guys in the next one.